Welcome to Beyond the Head Start. Melissa, I'm so happy to have you today on our show.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. I can't wait to chit-chat a little bit.
What a lovely surprise to have you. We've never met before. We spoke for the first time probably 2 minutes ago when we both logged in. And Melissa was kind enough to fill in our online form. We're asking anyone who's been on a journey, who wants to be interviewed. A bunch of people replied, and Melissa, you're the first person we're interviewing. So thank you so much for that. So tell me, what inspired you to want to fill in a web form online to come here on the show?
Well, James, to be honest, it's been a journey for me. I've struggled with hair loss since I was 19, and I try to hide it as much as I could. I feel like I became headband girl because I was wearing headbands all the time to push my hair back to make it seem fuller. But in the line of work that I have, I just can't do that anymore. It became really noticeable. And I noticed when I was chatting with people who were looking at my head instead of looking me in the eyes. Maybe about 4 years ago, I was like, I got to do something about this. I was terrified. I was nervous, but I just went for it. I started researching online and finding different things that worked for me. And I'm telling you what, like when I did it, it changed everything. When I started just wearing the hair that I buy, my confidence began to rise. My profession, I work in ed tech, so I'm a presenter. I'm on stage. I'm doing webinars. Having hair, and I tell you, like better hair than I ever had before. I'm not going to even show my hair because it's like better hair than I've ever had. It's the hair I've dreamed of. So it's given me so much confidence. I want others to know, like, just say yes, just wear the hair because you're going to feel so much better once you take that first step. It's not a big deal.
You said you were 19.
I'm not 19 anymore. I wish I was 19. I'm 48 now. Well, about to be 48 in February. I'm not a youngin', and I'm also about to be a grandma. My daughter's 26. She's about to have our first grandbaby in March. So we're super excited about that.
48. You look amazing. Your skin is perfect. You look great. You don't have a wrinkle. You look amazing.
I do. They're in there. It's just hereditary. My mom looks the same. People used to take me and my mom as being sisters. Now it's like me and my daughter being sisters.
Amazing. So are you going to do anything special for your birthday? Do you celebrate your birthday?
Gosh, when you get older, it's just another day. I could buy me some new hair, but I have a closet full. So I think I'm cut off for now.
It's actually my birthday on Monday. We're in the February club together.
Well, happy birthday. Well, happy
Thank
birthday.
you. Thank you so much. So you said from 19 years old, you're wearing headbands. And correct me if I'm wrong, was it 4 years ago that you started researching and looking at alternatives?
Yeah.
So from 19 to 44.
That's true. It wasn't immediately that I started with the headbands. It was probably when I hit my late 20s is when I started. Oh, I was like, I've got to cover this. So every time you saw me, I had a headband because my hair is naturally curly. So I could kind of tease it up and it would hide the top because this is where my hair loss is at the top. And so when I wore those headbands, it really hit it, but it only lasted for so long. Like I had to find another solution because that headband wasn't going to hide what I was trying to hide. So I just did it. I just went and started looking on my own. I didn't have anybody to really talk to about it. I had to figure it out on my own. What's nice is like my daughter, she's starting to experience the same thing that I have experienced. And my son as well. So it's just hereditary. My son's 22. He just decided to shave his hair, but he's a male. He can do that. I can't do that. So I'm really thankful that I got to learn how to deal with it. No, there's a solution and it's not the end of the world. Actually, it's the beginning because I'm telling you, once I started wearing hair, people were like, Melissa, you look younger. Like, you got your hair done? Like when I started wearing toppers, all I was getting was like, Melissa, you look younger, man. You look so good. Like, what did you do? It was all because I just added hair. I was afraid to tell people at the beginning. But now I've started making like a few videos, putting on my Instagram because I don't want anybody to suffer anymore. It's better on the other side.
So 4 years ago, you started your research and you said that you had no one to talk to about it. You just did it by yourself. You didn't have a buddy that was going through something similar. Were there any chat groups you went to, Facebook groups, Instagram? Did you reach out to any strangers that you may have seen on these social media platforms?
No, I just went to YouTube. I just went to YouTube and started saying hair loss solutions. I found videos of people talking about their hair loss journey, and I started finding different companies that sold, and I ended up purchasing some of those. I started off with synthetics, and I wore those for quite a bit. And then when I first wore it to my teacher conference, because that's what I do. I work with teachers. I'm a former teacher myself. But when I first wore the piece to a teacher conference and I was up and presenting, people were like, your hair looks so good. Like, what kind of wand do you use? Like, do you curl it? And my friends were like, you don't have to tell people you wear hair. But I was like, I purchased it. And they were like, what? And my friend's like, you don't have to tell people you wear hair. I was like, I know, but I feel like I'm lying if I say, oh, yeah, it's a wand. In all actuality, it was a synthetic. And gosh, those are really good until they're not.
You did it all by yourself. You went on YouTube, you had a look around, you typed in hair loss solutions. And what kind of things popped up when you typed in hair loss solutions?
I saw toppers. Lauren Ashley came up. That's kind of the first one I started with. I saw people modeling different pieces, and just some people were sharing their story of like how they started. I didn't see a whole lot of those. I saw a few of testimonials, but mainly it was just like different companies that they sold them and they were trying them on. I was like, gosh, that looks so good. And I just decided to take that leap. I was like, I cannot spend $1,500 on a wig yet. I can spend maybe $400. So I purchased a lot of the $400, which eventually comes out to the same. And now you walk in my closet, I probably got like 10,000 worth of hair pieces just over time and purchasing them. And my husband, he totally understands because he knows how it's really boosted my confidence. So I'm like, John, I need some new hair. And he's like, okay, just get it.
We are in the process of talking about the journey, which I call the research journey and then the trial journey. There's a bunch more before. Maybe we'll get to that. But right now, you're telling us about this closet of wigs, 10,000 plus. You're adding more and the great things it's done for you. Have these conversations with your husband as well. And when you need a new one, and you had the experience of starting off with synthetic and you said they're really good until they're not. And then you end up buying a bunch. So I'm really understanding that and seeing that this is a common thread, that there's this part where people with hair loss, they go through this, like, it's like almost like a schooling or a study period of like just loads of YouTube videos, blogs, like constantly educating themselves. It's like, there's no school for this. So how much of educating did you pour yourself into?
About 6 months, because I was so afraid. Like, I purchased one and then I just sat on it for a while and like, oh, I can't wear them. So nervous. What are people going to say? They're going to know it's not real. I went through that a lot, just that self-talk. Like, I can't do it. I wore it around the house a lot. And then I tried to get pieces that were similar. So I had different pieces. And then I thought I have to have a backup just in case something happens, because I was so terrified. One day I was going into school and my clip broke. Oh my goodness. Well, I came home and I knew I already had purchased clips in case that happened. So I know how to quickly sew them on. So I had to learn how to do that, how to work with lace, because some of the toppers I bought had lace and I was so bad at the beginning because I was like, my hair stinks anyway. So I would rip that sucker off underneath the tape. And so I was losing more hair because I was ripping it off because I didn't care. I was just glad that I found something. The only thing I found that I worked through was when you wear clips. Yeah, wearing clips every day is going to cause some tension. It's going to cause some irritation. I had to experience that. But then I was thinking, that's when I got to the point like, oh my goodness, okay, these clips are causing sores on my head because it's always in the same spot. I started moving the clips around. Then it got to be like, okay, but I can't wear this every day. I get headaches. Like, what am I going to do? Then I just decided to go for it and go full wig. And that was the best decision I ever made, because I had to go through several to find a comfort level, because some are maybe too tight, some are maybe too big. Figuring out different tips and tricks. I remember going into a store that sold different pieces. I really liked the band that it had inside. There's like a band and then you pull it over. So I added that to all my pieces that I do purchase online. It just gives a level of comfort that I really like. I can shake my head. No one can tell, but I tell them. I don't know why. Melissa can't stop telling people. My real hair comes through on the side. I do get that dye to match. Like this piece I bought from Dimples. And so I really customized it. I found a girl who can do that for me. So she'll add in light pieces. She'll trim it up to the way I need. And then she matches my side pieces that hang out. So it's just so natural and I love it.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for plugging our name in there. I didn't tell Melissa to do any of this. We literally talked for 2 minutes. We jumped in, but that's really kind of you. I'm really glad. I was like, is that one of ours? Is she wearing one of ours? I hope it is. It looks good. Your parting is great. It's slightly off-centered and the color is fantastic. It's perfect with your tone. And what you said, you're pulling your bio hair through. That's like, I call that advanced. That's like really spending the time. And also with a real professional too. It's very difficult to become a wig and topper stylist. There's a ton of education because the hair doesn't color like bio hair. Even if I was to color my bio hair, it would take differently than a topper because the dyes are used differently and different levels of processing. So it's like chemistry, mathematics, and styling all in one. And there's a lot of stylists out there that can color and cut bio hair really well, but without experience and training with a topper or wig, I've heard some pretty bad horror stories.
The girl I actually had, Sylvie Mayer, she worked with me. It was new for her too. And I was like, Sylvie, let's just do this. She's like, I've never done this before. So every piece I get, like when I see her, I'm taking 4 at a time. I'm like, you're cutting 4, my friends. And so she's got to experiment through me. And so she's learned as we go. And she's so good at it. She's not afraid. The first time, maybe she was a little cautious and she maybe would do it a gentle color and then see how that worked. But she has grown so much when it comes to working with these pieces. And when I go in, we talk and she's now like sharing with other people who come in. I've given her a few pieces that I need to get rid of. And so I've given her those. I was like, here, see what you could do with it, play around with it, dye it. And so it's been a really good partnership with she and I.
So you actually helped her become educated. You actually gave her the chance because it's really scary for a stylist to cut $1,500, $2,000 piece or more.
Yeah, exactly.
The hair's not going back. It's gone. Once it's gone and it just keeps getting short. Oh, made a mistake, get shorter and shorter. So that's really nice. You helped her have the experience of working with toppers and wigs. So you said that for 6 months, you got it was a topper first, right? Your first version was a topper, right? Synthetic topper or human hair topper?
Yes, synthetic.
Great. Okay. Do you remember what size it was?
And the base was probably about 8 inches. So I do like the bigger bases. So that's what that one. And it had a lace front. I really loved it. It was a cute cut, really short. So my natural hair would fall through at the bottom because that was still kind of thick. It's just the top piece. And so it blended in really well and it didn't get a lot of frays on the edges because it was so short. So I wore that piece for a long time and I even had a backup of that until those clips started digging in and it starts after a while, it gets worn. And so that's when I decided to try different ones. I think I went into a human hair topper and spent some money. So I found someone online who did it and who could install one for me in Louisiana. So me and my husband got in the car. We did a road trip to Louisiana so that way I could get a Lauren Ashley and try that on. And she did a great job. I really loved it until, again, the clips just start irritating my skin.
It's been cut out. I'm just going to tell you, we're very honest here. Melissa and I both ran off. We both were like, why don't we just show some hair? We keep talking about clips and hair. But I said, I'm going to go run and get some. Do you mind? And we can just cut back. And then Melissa's like, can I go get some? I was like, yeah, let's go get some hair and talk about hair. So now we're back with hair. And,
right? We got all the hair.
We got all the hair. So out of your hair closet. So just give us a visual. What does the hair closet look like?
Well, it probably looks like the same color. And even my hairdresser, she's like, Melissa, why are we going the same color? It's just what I like. I did order a Dimples one. It was very blonde. And so we did tone it down just a little bit, but I kind of left it that blonde. I didn't have that one right away so I could pick it up, but I cut bangs in it. It was a topper. And I was like, oh my God, I wore it this summer. I'm like, okay, Taylor Swift. Because it's the same thing. I have the bangs and it's got the hair to about right here. I felt like Taylor Swift this summer. I love to wear toppers during the summer. Now that I can do because it's very hot.
Hang on a minute. You said Taylor Swift. Does that mean you're a Swiftie?
Of course I am.
My wife's a Swiftie. So I know.
Oh my gosh, my daughter and I are going to the concert in New Orleans in
No
October.
way.
We're so excited.
Good for you. They're crazy expensive now. It's worth
We got
it,
lucky.
right? You got lucky.
Yeah, we
Good.
got lucky.
Good for you. So are you going to wear a topper to Taylor Swift with a bang?
I don't know. I kind of like all of the hair because then I get to do like little cute little updos or wear a big headband with it. But summer is very hot. And summer, I tend to do the toppers just because it's very hot. And a wig is hot in the summer.
So you said a wig is hot in the summer. What makes a wig or topper hot to you?
This one might work in the summer. Now, when I have a wig like this is what makes it hot for me, this piece, even though it does have small little holes, but this one is hot.
So I've got my stuff here. This is how they come, by the way. We're just doing little demos here. What you did was really cool. You showed the inside of it. So just my awareness of being in this business is usually like experienced stylists and people in this industry. Whenever I go and see them, because we have salon accounts, I hand them something. They don't look at the outside. They snatch it from my hand and they go like this, rummage through, and they go and they look on the inside and they're just like, that's what you did. You showed us the inside, and it's so really important, the inside of wigs and toppers. So tell us about this wig.
So this one is, I believe this is a Daniel Lane Folione.
Wow.
And so
nice.
I have two of them because Melissa's got to have a backup.
Yeah.
I got my first one there through a local boutique here in the area that I live in. And so we ordered it. I was so afraid because this was my first one to buy. And I think I paid like $1,800. I was like, this is my first one. Well, although the Lord Ashtons are about $1,200. But this is the first one that I have purchased. And so I wore it to my son's wedding. It's still one of my favorites. Like, I love the color. I love the dimension. I didn't have to do anything to this color. And that is what I love. I later went on to buy the same one. Remember how to say I had a backup? This one was a little bit longer to begin with. I think it was 18 inches, but I tried the long hair. Try to be like, oh, it'd be cute, wear long hair. I just can't do it. Long hair is not for me. This is as long as I get. This is perfect length. So I found what works for me. So Sylvie, when she first cut it, she's like, I'm just going to cut a little bit and then you see. And she just cut like a little bit. And then I took it back. Like, Sylvie, I need more cut. And then she went and chopped it up.
It's really key. If you're wearing hair every day, having a backup is just really important. If you're lucky enough to have an old piece that still works, that can be a backup. If not, eventually, if you're wearing hair every day, you'll probably get a backup or a topper as well in the same color. And then to take that backup with you when you go on holiday and vacation, gotta take the backup. Gotta take the backup. If that hair floats away in the ocean or something, don't wear it in the ocean. Do not wear it in the ocean. Not good for the hair. But just saying, it's just, you can picture it though.
That is me. I always, when I travel, I have a backup with me because there's no way I wouldn't even know what to do. I would probably wear like just a hair covering. I can't let that happen.
You talk about living in Texas and how hot it gets in the summer. And yes, I've talked about this in other podcasts, other interviews, other talks. I've worn wigs for Halloween, and God, I wore this big wig and it was machine made. Can you pull up that cap again?
The wefting.
So, yeah, wefting, machine made. I don't know who came up with these terms. So so it's hard to see it, but you can see like tracks. So wefting, it's like when you get extensions, clip-in extensions, and if someone's hair blows at the back and they're wearing extensions, sometimes you can see these tracks. But then on the inside of the cap, let's look on the inside. It's easier to see on the inside. So anytime you see those lines running across, and sometimes there's a piece of material covering it. I'm not sure if there is. I think there might be a piece of material, which is really good to have, that soft material covering those wefts. Wefts are really good because it means that you don't have to spend as much money. It's definitely cheaper, but they're very heavy. Good for cool weather, but for summertime, wow, it's going to be hot.
Yes. Where you can actually, like, I've noticed, stick your finger in, like if you have an itch, like there's holes in it. My synthetic ones, some of them have that, but mostly these real human hair, there's no hole to scratch. So it's all tied in together on these. That's
a really cool thing. I never heard that before. That's a benefit of
like a net.
Machine made. Yeah, you could just get your finger in between it and scratch your head. With hand tied though, you can't do that because It's all one piece of like a stretchy kind of lace in the back. So I'd love to know, tell me in the future, if you wear this one in the summer, how it differs and how it feels. It should be a lot lighter because if it's all hand tied, it's gonna breathe. You've not got that heavy material running across. So wigs, I think this is, which one, do you know the style you're wearing? Hair or something? Was it that length when you bought it or you chopped it down? So it was long?
What is it? It's got to be.
Hera. That was a Hera.
Maybe that's what it is. I don't
Was
know.
it
I
Hera?
saw a video and I was like, okay, let me try it.
Probably a Hera. It looks like nutmeg rooted. This is the shorter one. So you're wearing the longer one. I've done a lot of videos of these. This is how terrible it looks when you get it. And I'm not afraid to say that. I will tell you, do not put it on out the bag. It's going to look horrible. But when you get good at styling, or if you have a stylist to go to, it will look amazing. It will look like Melissa's. It will look like the way you want it to look. Okay. Otherwise, you're just going to be fighting, trying to get it to look right. You mentioned clips.
It's these pieces. And this one actually came with one at the top, at the bottom, and then two on the side. But I felt like I needed more support. So I took the top one off and I added like 4 extra because it felt so much better when I added. So you can do that. You can customize it. I think I went on Amazon, got the clips in myself just to where it feels like secure. And then I used Got to Be Glued. I'll spray that on my hair so that way it gets real texture. And then I tease it a little bit and then I put it on and that sucker's not going anywhere. Even though I don't have a whole lot here, it won't go anywhere.
So the glue is for the clips or for the hair? I've never heard of this.
The glue is for my hair. It teases it. It gives it more structure and it just makes it feel thicker when I put that. Yeah, Got to Be Glued. It's a yellow bottle hairspray. You can get it at a grocery store, but it works. And you know what? I think it might have been this one or the other one. I went to Disney World a couple weeks ago with my company and we rode rides. I was so terrified. I had it pulled back in a clip. I was going like this. You got pictures of me going like this, but I was terrified. But I rode like roller coasters and those suckers stayed on.
The clips you were saying, just to move on from the clips, some people have really sensitive scalps. My wife has a sensitive scalp. Like she feels stuff. It's just really hard. Some people can't wear toppers with clips. And sometimes the bigger the topper, it can help because the clips can sit further down on the sides. There are some people that talk about this on YouTube a lot, but the smaller little baby toppers are also really good intro pieces. Just if you want to add a little bit just to get started. So the clips, and you said moving clips. I know some stylists, they'll add like a whole perimeter of clips so that you don't clip them all in at once, but you switch off or you move the clips around because if you're wearing it every day and it's very tight on your head, it sounds terrible, but there's a thing called perimeter track hair loss. And we have it okay though. The people that wear extensions at the back of the head get it much, much worse. It happens very fast because wearing extensions at the back, you're fighting gravity.
Yeah,
you're fighting gravity, and especially if you're wearing them, if they're taping or glued in, and you're having a shower, all that weight of the water, and you're sleeping in it, and they get caught on your jacket and pulled. That hair in the back becomes very thin and frail. So at least the topper is a nice break from that, but still clips can do that over time. So we have other options like wigs. So tell us about the transition. You still wear toppers?
I do in the summertime.
Okay.
I don't know the brand that I bought, but I do have to say out of all the ones I have purchased, Dimples one is the most comfortable topper because its base is a lot thicker. And it just lays flat, like it's thinner. It's just lighter. I noticed that it's flatter with my hairline here. And so I really do like that. She's packed up in a box. I try to save her for only the summertime. She's my Taylor Swift one now because she's got the bangs and the almost blonde hair.
So you must have a 6x7 base. Does it have a French top on it or is it a mono top?
Yes. And what's the other one called?
French top.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not good with terms. They do get like more volume, I do have to say, compared to the French because they lay flat.
So is the Dimples French top the only one you've tried or have you tried other ones?
Well, this Lauren Ashton one. I've got 2 Lauren Ashton and then the Dimples one. And I feel like I get less headaches when I
Right.
wear the one that I got from you guys.
Well, that's good. Less headaches is
Yeah, it
always
is
good.
because I was like, I can't be doing this headache thing because as soon as I put it on, I got to take some Advil just because I know I'm going to get the headache.
Yeah, that's really difficult.
Not going without wearing wigs, I would still
Yeah.
the headache.
My wife got the sewn in, or was it beaded or sewn in extensions on the back of her head? I think she was pregnant with our second, and she'd always wanted to do it. I think I've said this in other podcasts before. She always wanted to do it. And I'm like, I'm the hair guy. I know hair. I know what's, but I was like, hey, if you want to experience it, let's do it. Do it. So she got it. And after a day, she was having headaches. She was really in a lot of pain. And because they're very tight, they really pull them tight. So she couldn't take them out because they were sewn in. But she took them out. I said, just take them out. You're uncomfortable.
I guess my motto is just push through because once you push through and then you're used to it, at first it's like a foreign object. You're like, oh my God, I just want to take this off, but I look so good. So I'll just push through it.
So some toppers you wear give you a headache still?
So I got to load up on the Advil. Yeah.
So you have a really sensitive scalp.
I guess that's what it is because I do get headaches. And so that's why I've tried several and just kind of went with the wigs until it's just hot. But I didn't get that with the one I purchased from y'all. Just saying.
Awesome. Thank you. We're doing something right. That's awesome. So we're talking like heavy deep into the product part of the journey. So you've been wearing the toppers and wigs for 4 years now, right? And how many do you think you've got? Just like guess.
Well, let me see. Got 2 Lauren Ashtons. I've got 2 Falias. I have one for stacked hair. So how many is that? That's 5. And I've got several. I've tried some from Chelsea hair. I bought 2 from there and they're synthetic. And I've got several John Renaults. Gosh, I'd say about 15 pieces, 15, 16. And I don't even wear them all. They're mainly like, oh, it looks great. Let me try it. And then I get it. I'm like, and I could send it back, but then I think, well, I might wear it. So some of those I really would like to figure out, like, who could I donate those to? Because they're just sitting in my closet, but I don't even know where to go with that. So that's why I've given a few to Sylvie and she's played with them or given them to people. But yeah, it's getting out of hand. I need to do something with the ones I have.
Well, there might be people in the chat when they watch this saying, give it to me, donate them to me.
Right.
So 15 to 16. So that's like approximately 4 a year, 3 to 4 a year. In your first year, did you have the highest number or was it?
No, the first year I didn't have, I think I purchased 3 my first year. 3. I had a Renee of Paris and it was a short little bob. It was really cute, but I had a backup for that. And then I had like a short to straight one. And I still wear that short straight one. The curly one, I don't wear that much, but the short straight one, like if I'm around the house and someone's coming over, like, let me go put on my hair because it's just straight and then I just pull it back. So it's easy. That one is a great topper too. I do have to say that one. It's lasted for a while, but that's mainly like someone's coming over. Let me just put some hair, just to have some hair on. Like my son tries to bring his friends. You better tell me he's coming. So put it here on. So yeah, I have some quick ones. These kind of fall under my quick ones too. Sometimes I'll wear it out, but they fall under like, let's just put it on.
So it's really common to have a collection, especially because you got backups and trying different things out. And I'm not just saying this like out of like consumerism, like go buy. No, I've heard this a lot on the journey of discovering what doesn't hurt, what feels right, what looks right, what lasts long. I've heard 9 toppers in the first year until I found the one. And then it still keeps going. If the first stage of the journey is discovering hair loss and then second is awareness, as I'm vaguely remembering what some of my other interviewees have said, I wish there was a way that it wasn't so expensive or it was an easier way for information. What do you think? If you could go back now with what you know now, and you could tell yourself 4 years ago, and you're just about to start going for it in the product searching online, whatever, what advice would you give yourself?
I can remember when I would give that advice to myself because we drove to Dallas once because we went to Hair Mama place. She tried on all these toppers and she kept saying, are you sure you don't want to try a wig? I was like, no, I'm not ready for a wig. I can't do a wig. That's really crossing the line. That's what I thought. And I wish I would have done it then. What was I waiting for? But it comes in stages. The first time I actually went to a wig store to sit down, I just started crying because I thought, I can't believe I'm going to have to wear hair. Like my hair is just gone. And I sat down and I cried in the chair and then I walked out. I was like, I can't even do it. That was the first one. And then I was in denial. I was like, I can't do this. No, this is crazy. Why am I going to do this? And then I went back later and then I just did it. I just purchased, I think, 2 there, and they were probably about 300 a piece. Purchased my first 2 synthetics at that wig shop. But I was like, I guess this is what it's come down to. So it is a step from going to like no hair to wearing a topper, and then decided, okay, I can do the full wig. And then it's like, why was I stressing so much? I don't know why. And now, and just recently, I tell people, and I made this thing on my Instagram. I was like, this is fun. And I just have a video of me changing outfits and switching up my hair and said, this is separate from hair loss. And I just went through like stages where I tried on all my wigs, all the ones my favorite, and just changed the outfits. And I said, look how fun is this? So I got a lot of support from that. So it was nice. It's kind of like me opening up publicly, I guess. That wasn't not too long ago, a couple of months ago, where I just like finally decided, you know what, I'm just going to share it. I share it with my friends or who I chit chat with, not like on social media. I haven't ever done that. That was the first time I did that.
But it's public though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's public.
Well, you're going real public now being on the show.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's awesome. So you walked out of that wig shop without anything that first time. Tell me again, walk me through that. What was it like? How long were you in that wig shop? Was it in Texas?
Yeah, it was in Texas. Because the shop I went to, maybe it was geared for older women, like we're in their 70s. Because I looked around and the ladies, they were super nice, but they were older who were kind of helping me. I think I was just in my 40s, and here I are, no, maybe late 30s. I felt like, is this really my life now? Because you have that stigma, like wigs are like for older women. They're not for the everyday person. I guess that was what was in my head, and people are going to know I'm wearing a wig. And I thought like, I should not be going through this at my age. I'm so young. And I guess that's what really made me cry. I sat there in that chair and I cried, and I was like, oh, I can't do this. Okay, thank you, but no thanks today.
That must have been so hard.
It was, especially for my first time to ever step in a place. I didn't like it at all. But now I go see my hairdresser and we're all in open. And now it feels so good. I don't even care. And Sylvie, when she was in downtown Houston and she worked, it was all open. I was just like, Melissa, you just have to get through it. She would cut my hair and then I'd look at it and they was like, oh my God, your hair is so pretty. And I'm like, thank you. And I take it off and they're like, what? Because then I'm putting the other one on for her to cut that one. Because she'll cut it like on my head. She'll dye it while it's on my head. It's just, I just love the way she works with it. And she's helped me over that hump too. Like, don't be afraid.
The hump. Don't be afraid.
It's the hump.
Tell me more about that.
Being able just to be confident and comfortable with the skin you're in or the hair you might have on. Just getting over that. But yeah, they're staring at you because you have good hair. That's why they're staring at you. And now I feel it when I go out. I got it. I want it. I bought it. Whatever. So I go out. Like, okay, Ariana Grande. Yep. I want it. I got it. And it's my hair because I paid for it. And she's very expensive. So yes, you could touch her.
So the wig stigma. Oh, it's just such a stigma. Extension sounds so cool and just like normal. Extensions is an accepted thing. Oh, you'll see extensions hanging on a shop, extensions on a table. See a wig on a table. Oh no, you know.
Right? I know. It is.
What is that? I don't know. It's totally different. I think society has come a long way, and also wig manufacturing has come a long way because everything just used to look wiggy. Everything was just big and poofy and too much volume. So then you have back. How soon did you go back to the store?
It may have been like a year later. I was still wearing the headband. Oh yeah, because I waited. I was like, I can't do this. So I waited. And I went back to the same place because that's the only thing I knew. I was like, Melissa, you're just going to have to deal with it. I think I had my friend go with me this time. I was like, you're just going to have to deal with it. Just do it. Just get it over with. If you don't take this first step, you're not going to go. I didn't want to purchase one online without actually feeling how it looks. She got it. She put it on. She was very nice. She cut it. She made it fit towards me. So I got it customized. It was in synthetic and I absolutely loved it. I wore it to school like maybe the next week. I didn't do it right away. I wore it to school and people were like, God, did you get your hair done? Like something looks different about you because it was the same color. It's same length. I just had more at the top. And people were complimenting me. And I actually felt like men were starting to flirt with me. And like I started feeling like when I was 19 again, where I used to get hit on because my hair is there. So now it's like, it's just changed everything. It's so weird.
It's a great step you took, getting it cut in, getting it put on, because really, they're really difficult. I showed you what this wig, it's an expensive wig, handmade wig looks like out of a bag. Okay. It's like this mop of hair, it needs to
Yeah.
put some love into it. It needs to be the right color for you and styled, and even better if it's washed as well. When you want it, you wash it and style that part exactly and pull out some baby hairs, and you can do
Oh
even
yeah, that's what I
all
did. I
kinds of
cut some
things.
baby hairs in this one, and that has changed
Beautiful.
it up too. I love it.
Chef's kiss. How's it go? Like that? And I'm trying to do it with my hand. So that's fantastic. You've done all the right things. But the magic of the cutting, it is so incredible. We did a shoot here in our office, and my mother got her first topper. She's never
Aw.
worn a topper before. It was so like spur of the moment. We got videos online, and all of it's just one take. And I watched a topper very fast with a very experienced stylist, Deborah. She's amazing. She cut this topper in. She like asked her some questions, and my mum's hair is like here. So she put the topper on the side like this, a little baby one. She already knew what color she was. And I think the amazing thing of a skilled technician, stylist, is they don't show too many options. They kind of know. They don't overwhelm. They'll ask some questions, and they won't like say, here's a whole entire wall. Pick what you want. You're probably going to walk out with nothing. So she had it ready, and she cut the topper in, and I couldn't believe it. It's unbelievable. But then I was so afraid. I was like, Mum, please ask her questions. Like, take it on and off a few times yourself. She didn't want to take it off. She wouldn't take it off. I don't know if she's worn it again, but putting it on and off, like practicing it. Deborah made her do it a couple of times. I was like,
it does
Mum,
take some skill.
it's really magic. So you had the cut in, you got the two, and you got the backup, and then you left the store, and it was after a year. And something you said really critical very early on when we hopped on, you said that you didn't go out for 6 months.
Yeah, it took me a while to wear it. Yeah. Because it's the fear. Like, people are going to notice. What are they going to think? Is she sick? I guess I thought, like, they're going to think I'm sick because I have to wear a wig. But it's not. I mean, I might have some issues. Like, it's just female pattern balding is what my dermatologist said. And he said we could do these tests and check your scalp. I went to the hair club. I thought about that too. I don't have enough hair for them to remove hair in the back to put it in the front. I almost thought about doing that, but then they said they had to shave all of this off. I was like, oh my God, I don't have a lot of hair there, but the fact are having someone like shave it and then putting this glue on, it sounded appealing only because I could swim with it. But then I kind of like this because at the end of the day, I'm like, oh God, okay, I'm going to say this. Women get home, they're like, I need to take off my bra. Well, I need to take off my hair. I take off my hair. I feel so relaxed. I get to take it off every day. If I had extensions or something that was glued in, if it just irritated me, I can't take it off. So I really like the fact that I can come home, okay, take off my hair, relax and put it up. And I tell you what, like if I curled this sucker on Sunday, my hair is good all the whole week. The curls stay in. I love that. So I fix it on a Sunday, and I got the hairstyle because I'm not sleeving it. So get up, get dressed, pop it on. It's like a fresh set of hair because it's holding that style.
So you mentioned some key things here. You mentioned a location that does what's called bonding. Apparently, you're not allowed to say gluing. It's a dirty word. With studios that bond, like I would say gluing, like, no, it's bonding. So bonding is pretty hardcore, like you said. And your head gets shaved, and they're taking a piece that, and if you think about it, something is going to get bonded, not glued, bonded to your head. It's got the material, everything on it has to be very strong because you're going to sleep in it. It's got to be hand tied, first of all. Can't be machine made. It's going to have a lot of polyurethane material. This is technically not poly. It's something different, but it looks like this, right? And the whole thing will be polyurethane because you can't put glue on lace, really. It kind of seeps through. So that means it's not going to breathe. And you're wearing this thing stuck to your head. And it's a huge commitment. A lot of people who do it, they never go back because they can sleep in it and then no one will ever know. Right? You never have to take it off. It's a different solution. I'm not saying it's bad. It's great. It works. It definitely works. But I think every 6 weeks, depending on how much your head, how much you perspire and how oily your skin is, depends how many times you have to go back to your stylist to have it taken off, and you have your scalp cleaned and then the topper cleaned. You definitely need a backup for one of those too. So,
Yes, you do. And the plus, if your hair texture is not the same, because
mm,
these pieces, the texture is like amazing. It's like soft. My hair is not like this. It's curly, it's coarse. So having those pieces, meaning I'm gonna have to wash my hair every day. I'm gonna have to flat iron it every day. And like that was another thing. I was like, how's this gonna work? If I have this straight, beautiful hair at the top and underneath it's curly and coarse, like, is that gonna work? It works fine when I wear these, but this is like everyday thing. I get to choose how I want that to be. So that was another concern of mine too. I was like, I don't know. And then what if I can't go back in 6 weeks or whatever? Like you have to be like dedicated and you're gonna
yeah,
pay like $300 to get it all fixed up again. And I just seemed like too much of a commitment to me.
it's a whole other journey. It's like, I don't want to wear clip-ins. I don't want to wear wigs. I just want it to be bonded. There's some people that do that. I mean, there's some stylists that do it. It's very advanced because when you're putting it on, like, you got to have several years experience doing it because if you get it slightly off and you have to take it and reapply it all over
Yeah.
again, it's a big deal. But clipping in and wearing wigs is getting over that hump. Do you find any difference between wigs and toppers, one being more difficult or easier?
Well, I like the wigs because I could just get out of the shower, blow dry my hair quickly, pull it back in a ponytail, click the ponytail up, put my wig grip on, and go. When I'm wearing a topper, I have to make sure that I style my natural hair to get it straight and put like oils on it to make it match like this texture. And so that's the extra effort that you have to make when you're wearing a topper. But there's benefits to both. Sometimes I will fix my hair and do that, but I'm mainly wearing wigs because they're just so much better. And like, this is the hair I never had. Like, I always wanted like the Jennifer Aniston like haircut. In high school, I had beautiful hair. It was like Mariah Carey, long, curly. I used to get perms, thick as can be. It was just beautiful, but I could never do these straight styles without having frizz because back in my days, you know how we straighten our hair? With an iron on an ironing board. We didn't have straighteners when I was in high
Yeah.
school. We like put your hair on the ironing board and do how I used to straighten my hair and it looked horrible. But I thought it looked cute, but
Wow.
not compared to now.
Wow. So when you were in high school, you said you had thick, curly hair. Was it the same
Mhm.
color as you're wearing now? Or
It was probably just a little bit darker than this, but not much. Because
right,
I would
right.
put some highlights in it, but it was long and pretty. And I remember people would always say, Melissa, your hair's so pretty. I remember going into a convenience store. I had 2 kids by then. I was in high school. I was a cheerleader. So people know who you are because I don't live in my hometown. And we were just there visiting. I'll never forget this. The girl behind the counter, I guess she remembered me from high school. She goes, are you Melissa Gomez? I was like, yeah, that's me. She goes, gosh, you look so different. Your hair's changed so much. I was like, oh gosh, because she notices that it doesn't look the same. And I remember I was so heartbroken because I knew it had. But for someone to call it out, oh, it was devastating.
So when was that? Go?
That was probably 12 years after I graduated high school, probably 12, 15 years. When I went into that gas station, she was like, your hair used to be so pretty and long. Oh,
Oh,
thanks. Thanks for noticing that.
I'm so sorry. Did your parents ever experience thinning hair?
No, my parents have both have full sets of hair, my mom and my dad. Now, my grandfather, and I heard it comes from your mother's father's side. He was bald. But then it also hit my brother too. Like my brother is 40.
Hmm,
He has shaved his head and just had a bald head since he was probably 35. He just shaves
really?
his head because he gets like spot patches. And so he just shaves. And then my
Hmm.
son, he's 22, his started falling out in high school. And so he's in the military now. So he just shaved his. I noticed my daughter's starting to swallow those same things. And so she's tried like a small topper piece. She doesn't need it. She doesn't need it yet. But I'm just trying to, if she wants to wear it, she ordered her one. She's like, I just can't wear it yet. She's going through the stage where I did. She doesn't need it yet. So, but I want her to know, like, it's okay, Katie. And I think I'm glad it's happened to me because I can support her when she gets older.
I can't wear it yet stage. And I brought this up twice already, but it's so brilliant what you said. You said you wore it around your house for 6 months, your first time. And I've heard that a lot. Practicing wearing it in the house before going outside, practicing wearing it on Zoom meetings. And it's a really good intro. So did that help just wearing it around the house?
Yes, it did. It helped. again, because I'm like, why can't I just wear it? Man, it looks so good. It's just that fear of people are going to know. What are they going to think? And who cares what people think? You should just worry about how you feel about it. And that's kind of what I had to get over. Like, who cares? Yes, you look good. And yes, it makes you feel good. So wear it. And that's really what I had to tell myself. A lot of self-talk, I guess, on my part. When I noticed too, there's a time period of my life, like maybe from my 24 to gosh, all the way to my 40s, where I didn't really want to take a whole lot of pictures because of my hair. And I'd be like, oh, I don't want to take pictures. But now, gosh, since I've started, like, oh, we'll be in that picture. I will post. Like, I will do all the things. I love taking pictures again, like I did when I was younger. It's just to help my confidence. It's also transformed me a way where I feel confident. Like whenever I'm teaching or chatting with people, like it's changed so much. Like it's changed the way I dress, my style. I love finding what I like and wearing all the sparkles because I feel like it all has to do with my hair, feeling confident.
So your hair sets up the way you style your clothing, and it makes you feel a certain way when you go out. And so it's like almost like it's almost like what I'm hearing from you, and I've heard from a couple of others. I'm like, so it kind of feeds inside as well.
It does.
It's like there's the inside job, the outside job. I've heard of these terms. It works backwards and inwards and then goes outwards again or something like that.
Yeah, it's so true. Yes. It's made me care because I went through a stage where I didn't care about my physical health. I didn't care about anything. I was overweight. I didn't feel pretty. My hair is falling out. I didn't really care what I wore. And once I started caring about who I am, and, I still got a lot of life left. My kids are grown now, but I still have to be happy. And I started wearing the hair. I've lost like 85 pounds in the last couple of years. Like then the clothes start fitting me again. I feel like I'm a teenager again, and it really feels awesome. And I feel like it shows when I teach, it shows when I interact with people. It just really shows that I can be myself, and this is who Melissa is.
Okay, so you had a dramatic shift in 2 years. You'd already been wearing hair. You said you lost 85 pounds within the last 2 years.
Yes.
And then the clothing changed. You said you were a mum. I'm in that stage with my wife, right? We got 2 little ones, but I get it. So 2 years, you lost 85.
Yes.
How did crazy. So there's a huge shift here. What else? What else happened? What was the shift?
I wanted to start caring about myself. Before that, I started getting into clothes, and I love to wear all things that shimmer. But I feel like it didn't look good on me with no hair. It's not right. It doesn't make sense. To me, I feel like, how am I wearing this? I don't even have any hair. Like I just feel like I couldn't be that person because it just didn't look cute on me because it was my hair. It's not true, but that's just the way I felt. But these hair pieces, I'm telling you, just kind of changed everything. I was like, okay, let me try these. Okay, my hair looks good. I'm going to try and see if I can lose some weight and just see how that feels. And then I'm a shopaholic. I know it. But you know what? That also comes down to like when I was growing up, we lived from rent house to rent house. We didn't have a whole lot of money growing up. And I spent so much of my money on my kids, making sure they were clothed and they were fed. And so I had 3 kids, and my oldest now is 18. So I guess I'm just at a time where like I can focus on Melissa and do what Melissa likes and buy the hair, buy the clothes. It's really fun. It's fun. I feel better about myself. And I work with some great people. And even my boss, he's like, Melissa, since I started with this company, you would just transform so much. Like I see such a difference. So it's just all those pieces that work together that really can boost your confidence. But mainly for me, it was my hair.
So mainly it was your hair that helped you have this transformation in 2 years. Was there anything else that really sticks out that was a pivotal awakening that kind of just helped you be this smiling, glitter and shiny stuff everywhere? Like your presence is all over. I hope you're watching the video so you can see this. So viewers out there.
Because it was the hair, and then it became to like people like, oh my gosh, I love your hair. It's so pretty. Or I love the outfit you're wearing. I told you I go to teacher conferences. I started wearing the sparkle. I started wearing the hair. I was like, I'm just gonna do it, Melissa. I'm just do it, Melissa. You love this thing. Just do it. So I started wearing it. And then it became a thing like, oh, Melissa, here she comes. Here, don't forget to sparkle on, or we can't wait to see your sparkles. Then it like, oh gosh, people are like noticing. And the more people like talked about like what I was wearing, the more it became like, well, what else can I find? And then I started hunting for different pieces that really focus on my personality. When I wear them, they just make me feel good. There's a girl, her name is Hair Candy by Hand, and it's called Feed Me Gems. And she talks about like wearing personality pants or dopamine dressing. Well, part of my dopamine dressing is putting on my hair, putting on my jewels that sparkle, or my personality pants, as she's coined that term, where it's just different pants. Maybe they have embellishes, or maybe they're pink. Just all those things together really like help you be who you are. And like, I'm going to be 48, and maybe some people think it's too old for dressing, but you know what? I really don't care. I feel good in what it is. And because I feel good, I'm good. I'm just going to wear it.
Some real key things. You said dopamine dressing.
Yes.
I don't care what they think.
We'll go up. My husband's like, that might be a little too young. I don't care. Or I'll ask my daughter, which earring should I get? This one or this one? She'll say, go with this one. My daughter likes beige and like free people, and she'll pick the calm one. I was like, thanks, I'm gonna go with this one. The flashier, the better. That's what I'm gonna do. Because I work in a vendor hall where teachers are coming around. I want teachers to approach me, and having all those different pieces, like I'm able to chat with them, or they'll look at me. I like that shirt. Or I like those earrings. And like, it's great conversational pieces too. I'll put like a headband on my hair because I could do like all these cute things with my hair because I have hair. So it's nice.
Were you very vocal and gregarious and out there with the way you dressed before?
No.
So you went from blend in to here she comes.
Yes, pretty much. Because whenever I started wearing that topper, I just kind of blended in. I didn't want anybody to notice me or look at me. I was kind of going up there, but as far as like getting known for, okay, Melissa does training. She does Google training. She does this. I was like, oh, but then that's when I was like, I got to change it up. I don't want to fit in. I don't want to blend in anymore. And that's kind of what I was doing. It's just when I started wearing those toppers, and that's kind of where it started. And then just progressively got like out of control because my closet is not big enough. I have a closet outside my closet. It's crazy, but I just love it. Even if I don't wear it right away, I'm going to wear it somewhere, and I have a whole selection to choose from.
Is it a closet just for hair, or is it clothes in the closet with the hair?
Both. My husband has like this much in the closet, and I have all the space. And then I had to build a section outside the closet for my clothes and shoes. Like I've never shopped this much in my life until my kids were grown.
You earned it.
And then I started wearing glasses too. My 40s, I noticed my eyesight. I was like, dang it, I need glasses. So then I invested in glasses. I was like, okay, let's wear the things, but they got to match my outfits. And so I found like these, like,
oh,
cool.
wow, look at that.
Isn't that cool? I know. I do have a zillion glasses, but my husband's like, maybe you should try this because then you can just change the top.
Add sparkles instantly.
Yep, add sparkles.
So tell me what the dopamine dressing, what does that mean to you?
Well, it just means to me like feeling happy in what you're wearing. It just like changes like my whole personality. When I put on the shirt, like this puffy sleeve shirt or these earrings, it just gets me excited. It's just something that I love. I teach online too, virtually with teachers. And so when I pop in, I notice that teachers will say, when they see me in person, oh, Melissa, we were wondering what glasses you had on, because I'm always changing them up. And when people say that, I'm like, oh, they appreciate that. And so it just keeps me going. Like it helps. It makes me feel good. They feel good because maybe they notice something different, or like it becomes like what does she have on? So I love it. And when I lead my virtual trainings, I try to make it fun and engaging. Talk about Taylor Swift or what kind of earrings I have. They probably see too much of my personality, but they seem to like it. So
I heard you say a few times self-talking.
Lots of
Describe
self-talk.
that. What lots of stuff I can relate to.
And I've heard some people can't do that. Not everybody can do that. Is when you sound crazy now, but when you hear like there's a voice in your head and maybe you're thinking, oh, like you're about to do a training, or I might hear like, oh my gosh, like they're not ruin this, or just say this, or don't talk too much. You hear all that self-talk in your head going on, and I'm just having a conversation in my head. Sometimes they're fighting, or sometimes it's pepping me up. So yeah, that's really helped me a lot.
Is it preparing you for something you're about to experience? Like going through, I should say this, I should say that.
Both, like preparing me, like if I'm going to get on stage and I'm like extremely nervous, I'll hear myself saying, Leslie, you got this. What are you so concerned about? Oh my gosh, your outfit is amazing. My own cheerleader in my head. I need that sometimes, because sometimes I'll feel like that imposter syndrome, like, why are you wearing hair? You're not good enough, or you're not good enough to be on the stage. So I struggle with that too. Everybody looks at me and sees the finished product, but they don't know the journey that it's took to get there with my hair journey, and making sure that it's not noticeable, or can I speak right when I'm talking with teachers? So it's a lot. It's a journey.
So the imposter syndrome, you said, and I take it that's the other. I mean, you said beautifully. You've got a cheerleader in your head. That's a really positive self-talk. That's wonderful. But the imposter, what does that sound like to you?
I guess when I think about it, like she's kind of going away. Like for a moment there, she was constantly saying, "You can't do this. Like you're not good enough. Who's gonna listen to you?" Like I heard a lot of that, and it has to do with a lot of the times, like who you're around, people you work with, people your friends. It depends. If you're around negative things, then I feel like that's when you start doubting yourself, and that imposter syndrome comes on. But when you're around people who support you or want you to be yourself and like even hype you up, like that self talk starts to go away. And I'm glad you asked that question, because now I think about it, like she's gone away. She was still there, but she's not there as much as she used to be. So I'm really thankful for that process. You always wish to get to that point where you just feel good about what you're wearing or how you come across to people. Like I like to say, Melissa doesn't know a stranger, because I do try to go make friends with everyone around. That's why I like the booth. I tell my husband I'm not in sales, but I'm part of sales, but not really. But I'd love to chat with people. So when they come up, I notice something they're wearing, or maybe I have my karaoke mic and I'm singing. Like this Melissa would not have done that 15 years ago. She would have just tried to blend in. But I love who I've become, and hair had a lot to do with it, just the transformation I've gone through.
So you have a mic and you openly sing on
I do.
karaoke to strangers.
I do.
And it,
Me and my boss, we went to a conference and I pulled it out. I used to use it in my classroom. I pulled it out. He's like, "What's that?" I was like, "It's a microphone." I feel like I could play some Taylor Swift, like call people out, look at their name tag and say, "Hey, Susan, do you want to come over here and talk with me about our product?" And so, like, I had never done that. And so, when you have your boss that encourages that, and he does it too, putting us together is the best. But it has to do with the people who you are around and how they bring that out of you as well.
so it sounds like you made some boundaries at some point
Yeah,
because you
I guess
said
so.
having removing the negative people helped remove the imposter syndrome, negative self-talk.
Yeah, that's last year. Not that I had a whole lot of negative people around me, but last year was just so amazingly positive for me. It was one of the best years I had. Not, yeah, was it last year? Yeah, last year, and it's continuing to get better. I did my first like keynote on a big stage. I did a couple of those. Like I always wanted to do that. I would never done that 10 years ago. And had someone who pushed me at my job, and I felt comfortable because I'm wearing my hair. And so, yeah, so last year was one of the best years I had.
Wow, amazing, which is so powerful. It's a long journey, but it's the 4 years of wearing hair. 2 years
Mhm.
ago, you had a ginormous shift. You said you lost, I
Yeah.
can't believe it. You lost 85 pounds in two
Yes, it's
years.
crazy. I'll share a picture with you. You'll see like 15 years ago, or maybe, well, not 15 years ago, but you'll see like the before Melissa and the after. I look at it and I am still amazed. I can't even believe like that's the same girl there.
I want to know the secret sauce. How did you go in 2 years?
So one of the things is I am diabetic. And so that was another shift. Having,
Okay.
if I don't change my weight, then I have uncles and aunts who lost limbs because of being diabetic. I had gestational diabetes with my first child, and they said eventually you'll probably become a diabetic. Well, I did get sick, and that's when we figured out that's what it was. But 2 years ago, I was taking medicine. I was having trouble losing weight. And I was like, I guess I'm just not meant to lose weight. Well, then I tried Manjaro. So if you've heard of the semi-glutides, those pieces where it's a weekly injectable. And so that has changed everything. And because I'm diabetic, my insurance, I cover it because I asked my doctor, do I stay on this or do I get off? He's like, no, you're maintaining your A1C because you're on it. So I'm going to stay on it. So that was the secret. I'm not afraid to talk about it.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Honestly, that's incredible. So, and Manjaro, are there there's other names for it too, right?
Wegovy, Ozempic, all of those things.
Yeah, I've heard of the Ozempic, but it's made for diabetes, right?
Yes, but people are taking it for weight loss. And I saw it on TikTok. I was like, maybe this will help me. And so I went to the doctor and I asked him about it. He's like, it's new, but I've heard it does wonders. And it has. It's crazy. Like I went from 210 to 45. Wow. It's crazy. I know. Wow. And I was like, that even made me act a little bit more crazier because now I can wear all the cute clothes. Yeah. And I don't want to go back because I've had moments where I yo-yo weight loss and I'm hoping this sticks. It's been a while, so it's sticking.
It's great because, and also your doctor recommended it too. I'm so glad you have good health right now and you feel good. And you're empowering so many people. And look what you're doing. You are the light. Now, I bet you were saying something, making boundaries of getting the negative people out really helped. Maybe you don't realize it, but I'm telling you this, your light is infecting, in a good way, other people. You're empowering people with your bright light. So people get to be around the glitter and all of the color that you bring. And the swiftiness and everything. It's amazing. In such a short time, you had a very fast journey of transformation. And your boss pointed it out as well. You're doing keynotes. This is powerful.
Very supportive. Lucky to work with someone like that. And he's so silly and crazy. And I just love it because he allows me just to be my silly, crazy self too.
So if you could give 3 tips, I'm going to ask you this last question. Somebody new to the journey, someone who's just in that situation, I'm losing my hair, I want to do something. Maybe they've gone to the dermatologist, they've tried the shop, this and that, all the things, PRPs, they want to maybe try hair. What would you say? What would you say to them?
Well, I would say, don't be afraid. It's going to be better. Just say yes and do what makes you happy. If you're not happy wearing it, don't wear it. If you're happy wearing it, wear it. It's going to take some time. It's not going to be a quick, like, oh my gosh, it's going to change overnight. It's going to take time. So be okay with the long game because that long game is going to be so rewarding at the end. I see it for myself because I went through the journey. It's all, what does Miley Cyrus say? It's all about the climb. It's not right away. It's a journey. So it's okay. It's not going to happen overnight. But first of all, just say yes. Just say yes.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Melissa. I really appreciate you being on the show and you've helped so many people. Thank you so much for coming.